You wake up tired, not from work, but from your own excuses. Another day begins, and the first battle is already lost. The alarm goes off. You silence it. Your mind whispers, 5 more minutes. And in that small surrender, a piece of your will dies. Every man wants greatness. Few are willing to bleed for it. You tell yourself you'll change, but comfort is seductive. You scroll, you delay, you rationalize. The body obeys what the mind fears. And the mind fears discipline because it exposes who you truly are. Soft, fragile, addicted to ease. But the Stoics saw this weakness centuries ago. They lived in an age of war, plague, and exile, and yet they built inner fortresses that no chaos could touch. They believed a man's first duty was not to conquer others, but to conquer himself. This is your wake-up call. You don't lack motivation. You lack mastery. And today we go to war against every excuse, every addiction, every comfort that has made you forget what strength feels like. Because the truth is brutal. Discipline isn't punishment. It's liberation. There was a man who used to dream of greatness. He watched motivational videos at midnight, whispered plans to himself in the dark. Tomorrow I'll start. But tomorrow came, and he hit snooze. Days turned into months, and the fire that once burned in him became nothing more than ash beneath routine comfort. He wasn't lazy. He was haunted by his own potential, by the voice that said, "You could have been more." He worked a job he hated, scrolling through his phone on lunch breaks, watching others live the life he once swore he'd fight for. And every night, that quiet guilt crept in, not the kind that screams, but the kind that whispers you've betrayed yourself. Then came the breaking point. One morning, he looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back. Eyes dulled, shoulders slouched, a body without command. It wasn't age that changed him. It was surrender. He fell to his knees, not in prayer, but in disgust. He realized something horrifying. No one was coming to save him. No book, no friend, no motivation video, only discipline. Cold, unforgiving, pure. The kind that burns at first, but refines the soul. That day, he decided to become the man he was afraid of. The one who does what must be done, not what feels good. He started with one small act. He woke up on time. Then another, and another. Each act became a brick, and soon he was building himself again. Not for praise, not for fame, but because he was done being his own captor. Lack of discipline is not a time management problem. It's a spiritual disease, the quiet rot that begins when comfort becomes your god. The Stoics saw it clearly. The undisciplined man is a slave, even if he rules an empire. Epictetus said it best. No man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's doing what must be done, even when your emotions revolt. The undisciplined man thinks freedom means indulgence. The Stoic knows it means restraint. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the essence of discipline. You cannot command the world, but you can command your focus, your reactions, your effort. Every time you choose effort over ease, order over chaos, you reclaim your throne as ruler of the self. Seneca warned of the slow decay of softness. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. We waste it in distraction, the endless scroll, the numbing pleasure, the excuses disguised as self-care. The Stoics would call it what it is, cowardice, because every wasted moment is a refusal to face the battlefield within. Discipline, in Stoicism, is the art of aligning your actions with your principles. It's not about perfection, it's about ownership. You will fail. You will stumble. But the Stoic rises each time without complaint. They do not negotiate with weakness. They observe it, understand it, and act despite it. Seneca again reminds us, it is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. That rough road, resistance, repetition, fatigue, is the very forge of character. The disciplined man doesn't run from the hard path. He sees it as the only path worth walking. When you train your mind to obey your reason, not your impulses, life stops being chaos. You stop chasing highs and start building strength. You no longer ask, "How do I feel?" You ask, "What needs to be done?" That's the Stoic cure for weakness. Not motivation, not hacks, but a clear inner law. Do what is right. Control what you can. Endure what you must. The moment you stop living by emotion and start living by principle, your mind changes. The noise quiets. The guilt fades. You begin to respect yourself, not for what you achieve, but for what you withstand. That's what the Stoics knew. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. And every time you conquer a comfort, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. Here are 5 Stoic cures for lack of discipline. 1. Stop negotiating with yourself. Every morning, a war begins before you even move. Your emotions whisper 5 more minutes. Your reason commands, rise. Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Discipline collapses the moment you start bargaining with your duty. There is no maybe in the mind of a warrior. You rise, you move, you act, without debate. That's the first cure. Eliminate internal negotiation. When you act without asking permission from your feelings, you regain power over them. 2. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Seneca trained himself to wear rough clothing, sleep on the ground, eat bland food, not out of self-punishment, but out of preparation. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" Discipline dies in comfort. The more you chase pleasure, the weaker your threshold becomes. Start small. Cold showers, early mornings, disciplined fasting, silence. Make discomfort a teacher, not a threat. When you choose discomfort voluntarily, the world loses its power to intimidate you. 3. Turn duty into ritual. The undisciplined man sees work as a burden. The Stoic sees it as a sacred act. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I am rising to do the work of a human being.'" Discipline is easier when you ritualize it. Turn your daily actions into a form of worship, not of gods, but of excellence. Clean your environment. Move with precision. Speak with restraint. When every action becomes deliberate, your mind follows. Order outside creates order within. 4. Practice negative visualization. One of Stoicism, its most misunderstood tools, is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Imagine failure, weakness, regret. Imagine your potential self, the man who never acted. Let that image disgust you. Marcus wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." The Stoics used fear as fuel, not to paralyze, but to awaken. When you stare at the cost of inaction, procrastination loses its sweetness. The cure for weakness is not comfort, it is clarity. 5. Master your inner commander. The Stoic doesn't seek motivation, he builds command. Seneca said, "He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior." Discipline is not about emotion, it's about obedience to your higher self. You are both the commander and the soldier. The commander issues the order, the soldier executes it. No hesitation, no complaint. Every time you obey that command instantly, you reinforce your mental authority. Eventually, that inner obedience becomes automatic. You become your own ruler. Discipline isn't a hack or habit, it's an identity. When you practice these 5 cures daily, weakness fades like fog under the morning sun. You stop chasing control and instead embody it. You don't hope to be disciplined. You become the man who is. You have 2 lives, the one you reliving now, and the one that waits for you the moment you stop making excuses. The Stoics didn't preach comfort, they preached dominion, the conquest of the self. Epictetus was born a slave, yet he ruled his mind like an emperor. Marcus Aurelius commanded an empire, Yet he ruled himself like a soldier. Freedom, they knew, is not the absence of chains. It's the mastery of impulse. So look at your reflection, not in vanity, but in judgment. How many battles have you lost to laziness? How many dreams have died under the weight of your hesitation? You are not tired. You are undisciplined. And discipline is not given. It is forged, one decision at a time. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop worshiping comfort. The longer you delay, the deeper your chains grow. This is your moment, right now, to build the spine that your future self will thank you for, to silence the inner coward that whispers tomorrow, to reclaim the throne of your own mind. Remember Marcus Aurelius's words, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." If this message hit you, don't scroll away numb. Act, train, build the habits that make you dangerous to weakness itself. Subscribe to Timeless Stoic Mind, because every man must learn to master himself or be mastered by everything else.